Politicians straight up deny reality to our faces, and I'm gonna talk about it. Everyone always says that politicians are liars and that they're in it for themselves, and I think that's a sentiment that everyone pretty much agrees with. Obviously, every politician isn't the same, and there are a few who actually have beliefs and they're in politics to fight for them, but it feels like the majority of politicians will literally say anything if they think it'll get them the teeniest, tiniest crumb of clout, and I think it's that desire for power that makes them say obviously false statements. So we'll be taking a look at some of the recent gaslighting politicians have tried to shove down the public's throat. Recently, Kamala Harris did a few interviews in support of her new book that absolutely no one is going to read. Trust me, we heard enough about coconut trees on your campaign, man. We good on that. But speaking of her campaign, she may be also cooking up a second run at the presidency. Not sure why though, unless she has some strange humiliation fetish. Trust me, she is not making it out of the primaries this round. Anyways, in these interviews, she's devoted an undue amount of energy trying to convince the world that Joe Biden was actually just fine during his presidency.
I do believe that Joe Biden had the capacity to be president of the United States, and I have never doubted that he had the capacity to be president of the United States. If you want to talk about whether he had the ability to endure what a race for president of the United States would require in that political environment in 2024, as I've said in the book, I had concerns.
Is that so? So you had concerns about his ability to run for office, but complete faith in his ability to lead the most powerful country in the world. Huh? I mean, yeah, that makes sense, considering the fact that when he was in office, he was a beacon of health. Let's see what President Joe sounded like when he led the country.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Okay, so maybe not exactly a spring chicken there, but maybe the reporter caught Kamala off guard. Maybe she just didn't want to throw Joe under the bus in that moment. So I can excuse this as long as she doesn't go on a second interview and say the exact same dumbass thing again.
I believe he was fully competent to serve.
Damn it.
There's a distinction to be made between running for president and being president.
What's the distinction?
Yes, John, good question. I would also like to know the distinction. What reason could she possibly give for spewing that load of nonsense? I'm sure it won't be one of her drawn-out metaphors that got her made fun of when she was running her campaign.
Being a candidate for president of the United States is about being in a marathon at a sprinter's pace, having tomatoes thrown at you every step you take.
Damn it. Seriously though, what does she think this interview does for her? Her pretending the obvious health decline of a person who was literally diagnosed with stage 4 cancer wasn't happening is beyond me. She could easily just say, yes, his health was declining, but he wanted to stick out his presidency, so we helped him through it. Instead, she opts to lie straight to everyone's faces. But she isn't even good at it. By the end of the interview, she had Jon Stewart looking like this. Bro had all the light drained from his eyes, his whole soul was crushed. She did that with just her words. Like she has some freaky superpower from The Boys, where all she has to do is talk to somebody and it instantly gives them severe depression. Anyways, that's enough on her.
Next.
Donald Trump recently announced that his administration is working on a 50-year mortgage. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait to be a lifelong debt slave. I'm always sitting around thinking, how can I pay the banks even more of my money? How can I make sure I never own anything? Isn't there a way that I could have a higher interest rate and pay it over a longer period of time so that I could be broke for my entire life? Well, now there is. Finally, the Trump administration has come up with the perfect solution. Let's see what the man behind the plan, Donald Trump, has to say about it.
Your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is 50, you pay something less from 30. That some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time. It's not like a big factor. It might help a little bit.
Not a big factor. Well, let's just do a little click-clacking here on my mortgage calculator, and oh my god! Yeah, I'd say it's a big factor. And a big scam at that. The entire point is to entice people who couldn't afford the 30-year mortgage with the slightly lower monthly payment offered by the 50-year plan, knowing that they'll literally never be able to pay it off. Notice how he manages to shift the conversation over to blaming Biden rather than addressing what Laura said about it being a giveaway to the banks?
But the problem was that Biden did this. He increased the interest rates, and I have a lousy Fed person who's going to be gone in a few months.
But that's just standard politician question dodging. We're here for outright gaslighting and reality denial. Lucky for us, I've got the perfect example.
They've seen their grocery prices go up, inflation.
No, you're wrong. They went up under Biden. Right now, they're going down. Other than beef, which we're working on, which we can solve very quickly.
Grocery prices are going down? Gee, that sure doesn't sound right. Someone better inform my local grocery store. Obviously, this is not true, and I'm not sure why Trump has taken to waging war on people complaining about affordability.
I don't want to hear about the affordability because right now we're much less. If you look at energy, we're getting close to $2 a gallon gasoline. With Biden, it was $4.50.
It was a con job. It was a con job. Affordability, they call it, was a con job by the Democrats.
Here's a nice graph of how grocery prices are actually doing. Notice how the graph is going up and to the right? Donald may be confusing this with his crypto account, and that's why he thinks the graph is a good thing. Donald, this line is good, this line is bad. Just because they're going the same direction doesn't mean they're the same. Next up, I might be stretching the definition of the term politicians, but I really want to talk about this. Elon Musk recently went for his umpteenth appearance on Joe Rogan, where they talked about a litany of things, politics among them. But one thing that piqued my interest was this moment right here.
I have friends that are comedians that called you a Nazi, and I got pissed off.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Like not as a
Nazi.
joke?
No, because you did that thing at the. My heart goes out to you.
You did that thing, Joe says. Joe, this is a Nazi salute. He did a Nazi salute. He's acting here like Elon did a strange, indescribable motion that physicists haven't yet cracked. You'd think Elon got up there and solved the three-body problem the way Joe's acting. Him and Elon sit across the table from each other, laughing and smiling, making fun of people for describing what Elon did as exactly what he did.
How do you point at the crowd? How do you wave at the crowd?
Not like this! I'm asking everyone watching, have you ever waved like this in your entire life? This is the craziest thing, because there are crispy, crystal clear videos of him doing this and Joe is like, nah, that could be anything. And then he tries to say Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have done the exact same motion. Well, let's take a look at the clips he's talking about.
Wasn't acted? Because we're not going back.
Thank you.
Is Joe Rogan blind? I'm being serious. Is he allowed to drive? Because if he believes these are the same, he needs to see a doctor immediately. He cannot be allowed on the roads. He's a danger to society. I don't care whatever defense of Elon people have, like, oh, he had an autism overload and it just came out on accident. That is genuinely a better argument than trying to deny what is right in front of your face like Joe is doing here. Honestly, this might be the one that annoys me the most of any of the things that we've talked about today, because I can just imagine Joe Rogan scrolling through Twitter and seeing one of those shitpost accounts like Catturd post. Why don't the Democrats have outrage for this like they did for Elon? Oh, the hypocrisy. And somehow, he watches the obviously starkly different videos side by side, and yet he comes away thinking they look exactly the same. I swear this is like the blue and black dress situation where we're looking at the same video but seeing two completely different things. And what kills me is that he's constantly talking about how people are infected with the woke mind brain virus, but he's the one exhibiting actual signs of schizophrenia to help his case. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, if you enjoyed me ripping on these guys for trying to lie to us, let me know when I can make another one of these. Leave a like and subscribe. See you later. Keep your smile.